had versions of it in my head, but now I use it in my life every day. So I submit it to your viewers as well. These are the 3 decisions that I think everyone makes every moment. First, you're doing it right now. What are you going to focus on? You're going to be focusing on my story I'm telling you. You're going to be focusing on the next question you're going to ask. You're going to be focusing on how your stomach feels if you've not eaten. There's a million things you could focus on, literally. But we don't experience life. We experience the part of life we focus on. And so the bottom line is, I know my father and I had a different experience because we had different focuses that day. I was focused on his food. What a concept. This is cool. He was focused on that he had not taken care of his family. And I know that because, he said it about 20 times under his breath, and my mother echoed it, of course. The second decision, though, the minute you focus on something, your brain has to decide, what does it mean? And meaning is what creates emotion, and emotion is where your life is, right? And so the quality of your life is the quality of your emotions. If you got $1 billion and every day you're pissed off and angry, your life's quality is called pissed off and angry. If you got 3 beautiful children, a husband or wife you love, but you worry all the time, your life is worry, So his focus and then his meaning, that was the worst part. The meaning he gave it was that he was worthless and didn't belong here. And that usually leads to the third decision, which is, what are you going to do? And like, if the meaning is something happens, you say, this person is dissing me, disrespecting me, or is this person challenging me? Or is this person coaching me? Or is this person loving me? If you think they're dissing you, you're going to have a very different emotional reaction than if you think they're coaching you or loving you. And then, of course, that's going to change what decision you make. Because if you're angry, you're going to make a different decision than if you're playful or generous or whatever the case may be. So those 3 decisions control our lives. But so your viewers or listeners, I give them an opportunity to take a look at it, because there's some patterns that you can make some simple patterns and change your whole life of focus. So the first one is, and I'd ask you 2 questions for you. One, Chris, is, what do you think most people's answer to this question is? And the other is, what's yours, if you're ready to play. All right. It's real simple. We all have a pattern of focusing on what we have and at times on what's missing. Which one do you think most people spend more time focusing on, what they have or what's missing?
What's missing?
What do you focus more on?
What's missing?
Yes. It is something that comes, the focus on what's missing is not something that comes with someone who is a failure. It comes very much with people who are very successful. And the question then becomes, if you're always focused on missing, how can you sustain happiness?
You're in a permanent place of lack.
That's correct. So scarcity is there. So you'll have drive, right, to keep staying on the hamster wheel of achievement, but you're not going to see much fulfillment, not in a sustainable way. It's impossible. It has nothing to do with you or me, right? It's just software. And we got a soul. We're not software, but you run your software so often, you start thinking your mind is you versus my mind is a tool that I'm going to use. Or if I don't use it, it's going to use me. So the majority of people do that. And by the way, during COVID, that number exploded because so many things were taken from people. They were constantly focused on what's missing, and that produces nothing but pain. What do you think most people focus on more, what they can control or what they can't control? And then which one do you focus more on?
I think most people would probably focus on what they can't control. I'm an even balance, I would say, between the two. I'm
That's
working
good.
quite hard to try.
I was going to say, you strive as part of your philosophy, right? To focus on what you can control, right? So that's part of the Stoicism, whole philosophy of Stoicism, right? So, but most people, you're absolutely right. Now, in my seminars, it's different because I got 15, 20,000 people. I ask that question, and the vast majority of them say they're focused on what's missing, but the vast majority of them say they do focus on what they can control. That's why they came. Why would they spend their money and time? They want to take control of their business or their body or their relationship, whatever the case may be. So they have a different belief structure. If you have both those out of whack, you got some real challenges. Most people have at least one out of whack, which creates stress. And then the third one, and there's many more than these, but just quickie for the people at home, and I'm asking them to do this for themselves if they want to. Where do you tend to focus more? Your past, your present, or your future? We all spend all 3, but where do you spend more of your time? Where do you think most people do? Where do you?
I guess most people just not the present, perhaps dreams for the future. For me, I would say mostly in the future as well.
Yeah. And that's where most achievers live. Me too. I have to discipline myself not to do that, because what makes you an achiever is anticipation. You've learned by a long time, anticipation is power. As I'm listening, I'm watching you. You're anticipating. You're processing, right?
Dopamine's a hell of a drug, yeah.
Yes, it does. And it gives you a sense of control. And there, also, if you don't anticipate, It's like playing a video game against the child. Now you're a different generation, so you might kick the child's ass. I don't know, but my generation, I didn't play any video games. So if a child, is your nephew or your niece or your grandson, granddaughter, or your son or daughter, and you give them a gift, let's say of playing a video game, you give them a new video game for Christmas or their birthday. What's the first thing? Oh, come play with me, pops. Come play with me, uncle. Come play. No, I don't do those things. Oh, let me show you. It's so easy. Boom, 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 boom. 3 shots. Boom, boom. They're going great. So some part of you finally says, I'll show this little bastard something here. I'll go ahead and do this thing here. All right, fine. Give me this thing. But you should know you're being set up when the kid says something to you like, you go first, right? And so you go and you go, boom, 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 and you're dead in 4 seconds, right? The kid goes, not bad for the first time, right? And then they take the boom, 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 and 45 minutes later you get your second turn, right? Now you're really pissed. Maybe you make it 2 minutes. The kid goes for another 45. Why does the kid win every time? Is it because they're smarter, faster, younger? No, it's because they played this game before. They can anticipate the first bad guy's here, the second bad guy's here. You're in reaction, they're anticipating. So it has tremendous power. So it's addictive when you learn to anticipate. And it's also a great skill set for business, for life, and so forth. I always tell people, if you're running a business, you're always running 2 businesses, the business you're in and the business you're becoming. If you only focus on the business you're in, someone's going to replace you. If you only focus on what you're going to become, you're going to have the cash flow to be able to get to that place, right? So it's a very similar situation inside of where we are. So for each of us, most of us who are achievers tend to focus on the future, but all the joy is in the present.